How do you feel about that Fighting Irish freestyle from Drake? Right, I feel the same way. Well, let's talk about the three things that Drake needs to do to be able to get back right with the fans. Let's talk about it.
Yo, Polly Rob, what up? What up?
So today Drake dropped the freestyle uh, produced by Conductor Williams. Conductor Williams is a fire, dope producer that's worked with Griselda. You know, he's from the Griselda camp. You know, shout out to them. But Drake got a freestyle that he dropped, and I believe it's called the Fighting Irish Freestyle. Now, when you listen to the record for the first time, like I listened to it for the first time, and you know the beat is fire, of course, and you know he's flowing, he's doing his thing, he's doing what Drake does, which he's an exceptional lyricist. So it sounds great on the first listen. Unfortunately, when you really dig deep and you go line for line about what he's saying, you can see that there's some emotional inconsistencies in what he's delivering. He's being a level of vulnerable, but not so vulnerable that he, I guess, kind of exposes himself, which that's not what we've seen from Drake before. Like we usually see Drake be very, very vulnerable with how he approaches talking about situations, especially situations that's actually happened to him. The song just sounds off. It sounds like he should have put it out before the UMG lawsuit. It sounds like some of the lyrics are outdated for what's happening in the time right now after the Kendrick and the Drake beef. Um, he's saying other things in the song, you know, about doing bodily harm to people, or you know, putting a pipe bomb in a car, stuff like that, which it just don't translate well. You know what I mean? Then he mentions, you know, a lot of things about family and friends that he's not okay with. But then he says that his dad has a daughter, and you know Drake doesn't claim her as his sister. So it's a lot of things that's happening with the freestyle that's just not sitting right with people. You know, I've talked to a couple of people about the song, and they kind of said the same thing. So this is what I'm going to do. For this video, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about three things that I feel like Drake should do to get right with the fans and get himself back into the flow of what he does musically. Just three things. That's all I'm going to do. Because I feel like, you know, somebody at his camp is misguiding him. And we need to bring him back because he's an exceptional artist. Did he lose the battle? Yes. But do we still want him to continue to make great music? Of course. He's made some phenomenal records. So we want that to continue. So let's just get to it, man. First and foremost, number one, be honest and straightforward with yourself and your fans. Number one, be honest and straightforward. You know, in this whole, you know, battle, like we know when Drake is confident in himself. We can hear it in his language when he speaks. We can hear it in his music. You know, we can hear it. At the same time, we also know when Drake is frustrated. We know when he's unaware of what to do in the moment. We know it. We know it in your speech. We've seen your streams. We could tell that you're off, that things are not sitting right with you. But that's okay. Be honest with yourself and say, hey, I'm uncomfortable. I hate that I lost. You know what I'm saying? And find ways to maneuver around that. Vulnerability is your thing. You are Mr. Vulnerability. I don't know, or I don't understand how you don't know how to be vulnerable and honest and still have pride in yourself. You jumped into a rap battle. You lost a rap battle. I know you don't like losing, but talk to some of your basketball player friends and ask them how do they bounce back from a loss. You know, they lose in the playoffs, they lose in championship game. You know, they've lost at certain points of their life in sports. You know, NFL players, they lost the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Ask some of your friends and ask them how to bounce back, being honest with themselves and how to get back from that. You know what I mean? And then also being honest with us, like, and being straightforward. The one thing that Kendrick did in the Kendrick and Drake beef, the one thing that he did that kind of changed the trajectory of where the battle was going, because at first everybody was saying, "Oh, Drake is up 1-0. Oh, Drake is up 2-1. Oh, Kendrick's up 2-1. Yada yada yada." But the one thing that Kendrick did, and I believe he did it on Meet the Grams, is from Meet the Grams on, his music was very straightforward. Straightforward. He stopped trying to dance around and give you, you know, double entendres and stuff like that. He gave it to you straightforward. And that changed the trajectory of the battle. I think Drake should do the same. Drake should be straightforward with his delivery, with his lyricism, how he talks about things. He should just be straightforward. Don't try to, you know, like even in this freestyle, he's dancing around what's going on. You know what I mean? He's mentioning things but not mentioning things. No, you need to be straightforward. You owe your fans that. You owe your fans that. Yes, you lost the battle, but it doesn't matter. You need to connect with your fans. Doesn't matter what the media, the blogs say and things like that. If you want to stay in this game, you need to connect with your fans. So you need to be honest and be straightforward with them. Your lyricism, the songs that you create should be straightforward. Even right now with the way you dropping stuff, you're doing 100 gigs of footage and a bunch of nothing. And then you drop this freestyle and it's like whatever. Then the other songs that you dropped before was just all over the place. You're not being straightforward with your approach. If you're unable to find a direct approach, then fall back for a while. That's okay. Fall back for a while. And then when you're ready to come back with a direct approach, then do so. Why not? So be honest and be straightforward with your fans. I think that they would appreciate that a lot more and you'll get a better response from the people with the things that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Just in my opinion. Number two. Leave Kendrick Lamar alone. Leave Kendrick Lamar alone. Don't say nothing about him. Do not mention him. Do not mention his name. Don't go on streams trying to say F Kendrick. Leave him alone. Kendrick is on top right now. To be honest, in your benefit, the fact that you're not on top right now means that you get a chance to breathe. You get a chance to relax. But don't keep poking the bear. Let all the other artists in the world do that. Because as of right now, everyone believes, which is true, that Kendrick Lamar is on top as the number one lyricist and the number one artist. That means that he's going to have to deal with all of the other artists that wants to be number one coming for his head. Give him that space. Don't say nothing about Kendrick. Don't diss him. Don't throw subliminals. You need to mentally help the fans separate Kendrick from you. That's how it was before. It needs to get back to that in order for you to continue to make great music. You need to put as much distance from K-Dot as possible because he ain't playing. What he's going for right now is going to be unprecedented, just like what you just went for the past 15 years was unprecedented. You need to leave Kendrick alone. Don't mention nothing about his team. Don't mention nothing about SZA. Don't say nothing about the Super Bowl. Don't mention nothing about the tour. Don't say nothing about his album. Don't say nothing. If you're going to wave the white flag, wave the white flag. Because the minute you aggravate them some more and you start talking about them, then they're going to slowly start putting your name against his name. And in this moment right now, it's not a good look. You're going to lose that. It's not a good look. And then also you got to realize sometimes, and I know you're probably not going to get this, but hey, I'm going to say it anyway. Sometimes not being on top is a way for you to regroup so you can get another shot at your career or at your approach. Sometimes not being on top means that you don't have things over your shoulder and on your back that you got to worry about constantly. You ain't got to worry about all these artists coming for you, you know what I'm saying, being on your neck. You've been holding that down for 15 years. All due kudos to you. But now you get to actually take a step back and look at the playing field and look at the game for what it is. You know what I mean? Leave Kendrick alone. Let him be in his own world. And then let's see if Kendrick can sustain the number one spot for as long as you sustained it. Let's see if that's going to happen for him. Let him be on his own path, and then you create your new path for what you're going to do. Why not? Why not? Last but not least, before I get out of here, and I just want to say, like, we've witnessed one of the best battles that we could ever witness in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that compares to it is Ice Cube versus NWA, you know, Tupac versus Biggie, and of course Jay-Z versus Nas, these are all the top battles of all time. So all the fans out there, we are witnessing greatness as it's happening. And let's keep it there. Let's keep it music. Let's keep it, you know, energetic for the culture of things. You know, we ain't got to slander nobody's name. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about how many kids people got. We don't care about who was doing what with so and so. None of that stuff matters. We got a good battle. Things was said, and we just gonna keep it rolling. You know what I'm saying? And if Drake decides to do a lawsuit, hey, have at it. You know what I'm saying? You got to get a win somehow. I don't advise that, but that's what he want to do. At the end of the day, we are music fans, so we want to hear the music. We want to hear dopeness. You know what I'm saying? Now, the last thing I want to talk about, and this is important, and this is something that we all had to do. I had to do it to myself as well, because it's important, especially to move forward. I think Drake needs to take accountability for his own friendships. I think he needs to take accountability for his own friendships. I think that, you know, he mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, he mentioned LeBron, he mentioned DeMar DeRozan by way of saying that they bought tickets to the pop-out show in the freestyle. And I think that he has a gripe with that because he felt like that they were better friends than that. They check up on each other's kids and things like that. But at the same time, you need to have a conversation with them and talk about y'all friendships as y'all stand. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, DeMar DeRozan is from Compton. At the end of the day, LeBron James is someone who doesn't like to dwindle in beefs and problems. So, you know, even though he was at the pop-up, he was still enjoying himself with his family. His family likes Kendrick Lamar. You can't stop that. You know, it's hard for them to pick sides, especially when they have nothing to do with it. On top of that, how's your relationship with Rick Ross? How's your relationship with Metro Boomin? How's your relationship with Future? How's your relationship with the people that you've done music with that you may have problems with, you know, due to clearances, due to features, due to girls, due to whatever? You need to take accountability for the relationships that you hold on to and you befriend. What has happened to them afterwards? I mean, the essence of the bad relationships going bad, the common denominator is you. So what does that say about yourself? What does that say about how you approach things? What does that say about how you hold on to friendships? No disrespect, but we all know the one person who puts you on, you had relations with his girlfriend, while he was in jail. That is something that in hip hop culture is unforgivable. But yet he forgave you. And what's up with your friendships, Drake? What's up? What are you doing to keep these relationships strong to where nothing like this happens again? Are there things you need to answer for? Are there things you need to acknowledge that you've done wrong in order to move past this? And nobody can answer that but Drake himself. You ain't got to tell us. You ain't got to tell me. But you need to talk to yourself and take accountability for the things that you've done wrong and find a way to move forward. That's all I got to say, man. That freestyle on the surface level sounds good, but when you really start digging deep, it's a lot of little Easter eggs in there that he gonna have to come correct on. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, I still want to hear more music from Drake. You know what I'm saying? For me, I feel like my ears are clear enough to be able to listen to Drake and his music. You know, I still got a playlist with Drake songs. I'm not hating, but I got a playlist with Kendrick. I got a playlist with, all different types of music. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's good music, and let's keep it that way, and let's be truthful to ourselves and truthful to the people that we rock with. You know what I mean? Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Let me know what Drake needs to do to get himself back right with the fans and in the industry, because at the end of the day, we still want artists like that to flourish. This is the hip-hop culture, and he has contributed a lot to that culture. You know what I'm saying? So let me know in the comments, you know what I'm saying, and shoot me a shout out, man. Let's talk about it, man. I appreciate y'all. WORKLOAD.